everyone. Welcome to our volunteer information session. So for some of our older volunteers, you might know that we've kind of been taking a quick break on our IWC hosted initiatives, but now we're back with a series of really new, exciting opportunities for you guys. And we just wanted to share a couple changes that we're making to IWC in the coming months. So just a brief overview of what we're going to cover today. We're starting with a little information for our new volunteers. I think I just asked, and a lot of you aren't new to IWC. So we're just going to go over why we started the organization, how organization is structured, and how it's evolved, since we get a lot of questions about that. And then we're going to cover a little bit about our mission and some of our core values. And you guys will also be the first to learn about some of the really cool initiatives that our team has been working on and we're opening very soon. And last but not least, we're going to be talking about our recently opened executive applications and going a little bit more in depth about the positions, specifically what we're looking for, and some tips for your own application. So stay tuned for that. Before we get started, we're just going to go around and quickly introduce ourselves so you can get to know our executive team. I'll start. My name is Sophie. I am the founder and president of IWC.
I'm Jenny. I'm the executive director of IWC.
I'm Gracelyn. I'm also the executive director.
I'm Halima, and I'm the public health director.
I'm Maria. I'm the fundraising director.
I'm Namrata. I'm one of the Waterloo subsection directors.
I'm Tiffany, and I'm the other subsection director.
I'm Lynn, and I'm the lifestyle cohort director.
I'm Amy, and I'm one of the social media directors.
And I'm Catherine, and I'm the other social media director.
Okay, awesome. And just if you have any questions throughout the course of the presentation, feel free to write them down. And we're going to have a Q&A session at the end where we'll be answering all of your questions. So just to start, we're going to talk about what really is IWC. We started IWC about a year ago, right after we went into lockdown. And it was kind of with the goal of offering everyone the opportunity to make an impact, no matter how small, and from the safety of your own homes. So hence our name, Impact Without Contact. One of the questions we get a lot is about the different types of opportunities that we offer. So these are split into three main types. The first is opportunities on our volunteer portal. So these are not hosted by IWC. They're offered by our partner organizations and various other community organizations. So our goal with this is really just to be able to connect you with more varied opportunities than the ones we host. And all you have to do to have access to these is sign up for an account on our website, impactwithoutcontact.ca, and then do a quick quiz about your skills, your interests, resources, and your schedule. And then our database will recommend you your opportunities based on the information you've given us. So don't worry if you feel like you don't have enough time, enough experience, or expertise. If you have a busy schedule and you feel like you can't commit to volunteering, but as long as you want to make a difference, our portal is there to help you do that. So then we have our IWC hosted initiatives, and these are done in what we call our cohorts, which are kind of just the main sectors that were affected by COVID. And these are care centers, public health, and fundraisers. So these initiatives are all brainstormed by our lovely cohort directors, and we work with community partnerships, and they're also entirely run by volunteers. So this means that if you're working on one of these projects, you're going to get a lot of leadership and teamwork opportunities. So to give you an idea of what that would look like in the past, when we host charity concerts or we're recording for a podcast, we have teams of volunteers running marketing, script writing, video editing, and outreach to different organizations. So just a note that our care centers cohort is currently on pause, but if you're interested in volunteering for care centers, we still have lots of opportunities for you on our volunteer portal. And another thing is that a big part of what we value at IWC is that you get to see the impact you make on your community with the work you do. So we've actually established subsections with initiatives that aim to help out local businesses, organizations, and people, so volunteers can see the impact that they make on their home community. So now that you have a general idea of kind of how we operate, I'm going to pass it on to Halima, our public health director, to talk about some of the new opportunities we have in that cohort.
All right, thanks, Sophie. So I'm just going to run through some of the past initiatives that we've had and also places that you guys can get involved. So one of the first initiatives that public health pursued was the Tell My Story podcast. And the whole idea with that was we're basically trying to highlight the voices of Canada's frontline workers who aren't really getting the appreciation that they deserved. And with that podcast, using dozens and dozens of IWC volunteers, we were able to amass over 450 listens for our podcast and also be able to be featured on global news. So that was super exciting. And because of the success that we had with that podcast, we wanted to do another season focused on post-pandemic society. So if you guys are interested, you can definitely check out season 1 of the podcast on the website. And so the whole idea with the season 2 of the Tell My Story podcast is we're going to be focusing on post-pandemic society, interviewing vaccinators, politicians, and that kind of thing. And because of that, we're definitely going to be needing a huge team to, I guess, make that a success. So we need a host, writers, editors, script writers, alongside a variety of other roles. And so if you guys are interested, please keep the TMS podcast in your mind, and we'll be sending out applications very, very soon for it. The second initiative that public health is planning on leading in the next few months is the Let's Talk About the Vaccine project. And the whole idea with that is we're basically going to be pursuing weekly posts regarding vaccine rollout, how people can get involved, when it's time for you to get booked, what type of people are able to get their vaccine right now. Because of the onslaught of information that's being, I guess, spread up to the public at this time, we really want to make it simplified for people. So that's the whole idea with the vaccine project. And because of that, we're also going to be needing a ton of IWC volunteers to support us with that, such as social media designers, social media post researchers. And I really want to highlight that you don't need experience to do any of this. A lot of this stuff you're able to learn on the job, I guess. And you're also able to develop a lot of amazing skills, not only with leadership, but also journalism if you want to do the podcast, or social media design, and art if you want to do the social media posts. So please check out these opportunities, and we're super excited to have you guys join the public health cohort. I'll now pass it on to Maria.
Hi guys, so as you know, my name is Maria and I'm the fundraising director for Impact Without Contact. So just to go over what we did previously in August 2020, the fundraising cohort volunteers collaborated and we hosted IWC's first ever charity concert. So we hosted this on YouTube Live and it featured several artists who performed to raise funds for COVID-19 relief. So in this, we promoted 4 separate charities and raised money through this event, and we provided COVID-19 equipment to frontline workers and more. So we also have new opportunities coming up. We're hoping to have a collaborative project between several different organizations to raise more funds for COVID-19 relief. So through this, we're looking for hardworking and dedicated volunteers who want to help make a difference. Through this opportunity as a volunteer, you will not only coordinate the logistics of this event, but you have the opportunity to collaborate with other organizations. So through this, the volunteers will be similarly separated into groups such as outreach, logistics, marketing, things you're probably quite familiar with. And if not, that's okay. Similarly to the charity concert, if you're an old volunteer, you'll know how that was set up. However, we also have new additions. We're going to be offering leadership positions within each individual group based on experience, skills, and other factors. So this is an opportunity for you to further your leadership skills and gain organizational, time management, and fundraising skills. So we hope to see you participate in planning this event. And if you're interested in participating in either the fundraising or with the podcast and stuff, email impactwithoutcontact@gmail.com stating that you want to participate. I will now be passing it on to Namrata and Tiffany, who are going to talk about the Waterloo subsection.
Thanks, Maria. Hi, guys. As already mentioned, I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Namrata, and we are here to talk a little bit about Impact Without Contact's first subsection in Waterloo, of which we are the directors of.
So our main goal today is to inform you about the subsection, but more importantly, inspire and motivate you to possibly start your very own subsection in your own community. Now, we know it sounds daunting to take on this big risk or big task, so we wanted to first talk about how we started out.
So back in May of 2020, Tiffany and I were newly minted volunteers for IWC. So we like to say that somehow our brains had this link, and we both wanted to bring IWC's opportunities and projects to our hometown in Waterloo. So we wanted to do that so there'd be a group of initiatives that centered around supporting local organizations that had been hit hard by COVID-19.
We reached out to local organizations like One Roof Youth Services, Grand River Hospital, and various Chartwell retirement residences, and more to determine how we could collaborate and best support their needs. And as we're approaching our first year, we're so happy to say that we've had numerous successful initiatives, such as providing mass donation packages to One Roof Youth Services, with whom we've also facilitated a collaboration with Socks for Souls. In addition, we've supported pillars in our community, such as Grand River Hospital and Parkinson's Society, with their own fundraisers.
So with the success and effectiveness of these initiatives, we've been confident and able to continue these past volunteer projects and create even more tailored opportunities for this exciting new phase of Impact Without Contact. So one volunteer favorite has been our virtual book club with the Chartwell Clare Hills retirement residents. We're excited to have new volunteers continue to facilitate this amazing experience for the residents as soon as the lockdown in Waterloo is lifted. So for updates regarding this opportunity, we'll be sure to keep you posted on our social media as more information comes our way. But in the meantime, we do have a few projects in the works that we'd love to share with you, and we're looking forward to having you involved.
So for starters, we're hoping to launch our Digital Buddies Pen Pal program. And for this program, we're looking to connect young children from organizations like Kids Ability, Sick Kids, and more with local elementary schools. And to continue supporting our local care homes, we're looking to launch our monthly jokes newsletter, in which we'd compile some fun and funky memes, comic strips, and any jokes that might brighten a resident's day. And for this opportunity, we've been looking for volunteers who'd be interested in graphic design. However, most importantly, we need volunteers to submit content for the newsletter, and which, as mentioned before, could be anything from comic strips, memes, and videos. In fact, you can and have the option to design content yourself and send it to us.
So another initiative which we're looking to kickstart closer to the summer is our Small Business Spotlight. So through this, our goal is to feature different small businesses in Waterloo in various day in the lifestyle video tours with Instagram Reels. So here, we'd be looking for volunteers interested in finding information about various local businesses, or even on a more casual note, sending business recommendations our way. And if it's possible, we'd also be looking for volunteers interested in vlogging themselves interacting with the business. So that's just a fancy way of saying browsing or shopping or even talking for a few seconds with an employee. And when putting the final product together for Instagram, some video editors would be welcome. So our reels look super snazzy and nice.
So as you might have noticed, all of these opportunities and projects are heavily dependent on volunteer engagement. That means we need you to get involved. And as we're on the topic of subsections, there's a huge opportunity there for you to get involved on a leadership level too.
Yeah, if you want to impact your community, we offer you the chance to create your own subsection and become a youth leader. So if you have the idea, we'd love to support your vision and turn it into something concrete. So actually, to get involved, a great way to start is to participate in the opportunities available on our volunteer portal. So speaking of, next up we have Jenny, who's going to talk a little bit about our volunteer portal. So take it away, Jenny.
Great. So our volunteer portal is essentially a database of all of our volunteer opportunities that aren't exactly initiatives or related to a cohort or subsection. So if you don't have that much time to volunteer with us or aren't interested in our initiatives, but still want to make impactful contributions, I really recommend for you to check out the opportunities available there. So Amy and Catherine will be sending a link to the portal in the chat where you can make an account and take a look. So when you do make an account, you'll be asked about your various interests and skills, and you'll be recommended some opportunities tailored just for you based on those factors. So these opportunities include creating artwork for frontline workers that are posted in our partnered hospitals, writing cards and letters to seniors living in care centers, writing blogs, and creating artwork to be posted on our website, and much more. So of course, you'll be receiving volunteer hours for any volunteering you do with IWC, both for our initiatives as well as regular volunteering. These hours will be tracked in your volunteer hours tracker on the portal, and we'll be doing regular volunteer hours sign-offs and providing you with a letter as well.
So speaking of the volunteer portal, one of our ongoing initiatives that we've had since the beginning is our volunteer blog. And so we have a volunteer blog right on our website, and these include things that you guys write and that we get to publish and feature on our website. So things that we've had in the past include weekly recommendations where our volunteers recommend or suggest recipes, songs, TV shows, books, anything that they've found to be fun and help them pass the time during the pandemic. We also have COVID news updates / good news updates. So COVID news is because a lot of people feel overwhelmed about looking through a bunch of articles. So being able to consolidate that into one is super helpful, as well as good news. Obviously, the name stands for itself. And then lastly, we have the personal blog. So these are things such as how you've been coping in quarantine or some tips and tricks that you might have. And one new part that we are looking to add is being able to feature your artwork on our website as well. So this would be an opportunity to view and also present the cards that you might have made, or the masks, posters, etc., to hopefully encourage others to do so as well. And so now I'm going to pass it on to Gracelyn, who's going to talk to you a little bit about how you can get involved with our team.
Okay, guys, so we are recruiting for our executive team next year, and the deadline is actually coming up very, very fast. So April 30th is going to be the application deadline. That's when you need to get everything inside. And then for mid-May to the end of May, we're going to be doing interviews and finally releasing the decisions for our executive team next year. Super exciting stuff. I'm going to tell you guys all about it. Next. Jenny, the slide. Okay, cool. So in terms of flying to your team, we are a very, very flexible, collaborative team. And if you're applying to IWC as an executive, you have the freedom to essentially introduce any of your own initiatives. You can execute projects the way you want to, and we want to bring in a lot of fresh new ideas. So like I mentioned earlier, we're very collaborative, so you can always work on different aspects of the projects and suggest any of your new ideas, however small or big they are. And it also gives you an opportunity to manage a team of volunteers. So this is really good to exercise your leadership abilities and just like learn how to execute a project from start to finish. And most importantly, you'll be able to have or make an impact on a community your way, your style. So what we're looking for is essentially creativity and initiative. We really are looking for, again, new, fresh perspectives and ideas of how we can make an impact in the community, especially being a pandemic where we're doing things new. We want IWC as an organization, we want to do things in a new, fresh, fun way. So we want also someone who is able to work well with the team and be able to manage a team of volunteers and just play to people's different strengths. And just one last important thing, just being able to communicate online, whether that's through oral means or written means, because obviously we are a completely digital organization. I'm just gonna go briefly over the different positions, but just a disclaimer beforehand, even though we are hiring for specific positions, our team is very, very equal in terms of ideas and collaboration. So you're actually not very constrained to your role and you can try out many different hats. But that being said, there is something for everyone here. So if you're a people's person, you could be a cohort director or a subsection director, and you'll be managing partnerships and organizing initiatives and finding existing volunteer opportunities. Or you could also be a volunteer coordinator. So you'll be corresponding with the different volunteers for different projects. Now, if you're more of an artistic person, you could try out for marketing director or a graphic designer, and you will be managing our IWC Instagram and social media pages. And if you're more into coding, you can try out web development. So this is a new role we're hiring for this year, and essentially you're managing and updating our website. Okay, and also very excitingly, we're hiring for a few executive directors and the president. So these are the people who will practically oversee everything and kind of take a really high level view of things. So you'll be looking at all the different projects and initiatives, and again, just be proposing new ideas with the rest of the team. So now I'm going to do an overview of how we actually run things, or an example of how we run a project. So if you guys remember, we did a holiday care packages in December, and how it happened is that in the beginning, the entire team just sat down and we just like started spouting ideas. So everyone just gave random ideas for like how we could run an initiative during the holiday to help our community. And so this was, I can't even remember who thought of the idea because everyone was just pitching in. And then afterwards, we went ahead and started securing partnerships once we identified the idea. And I think in this case, it was the Waterloo Subsection directors and our care center directors who were emailing various places, such as shelters, for partnerships. And then I delegated marketing social media people to take over the promo on social media. And then the web developer would be updating the website. And then, for example, next year, we're going to have a volunteer coordinator. That person is going to ask the volunteers to send in the artwork so we can send to the care centers. And then finally, various people in this year's executive directors were the ones who purchased the supplies, sent them off, and bought out the supplies. But this could really be done by everyone. So as you can see here, this is how we run things. Everyone pitches in, everyone takes a different role, and we're very flexible in terms of that. Okay, so in terms of how we want to see your application, please feel free to tell us your ideas. We want to see what type of projects you're going to lead, how you're going to lead them. Tell us how you would promote a certain event if you're going for graphic design or social media, and just tell us all your ideas of how we can run how you guys can run IWC next year. And again, we want you to be very practical, so don't use any fluff words or like big fancy words. Just tell us exactly what you're going to do, chosen, and just give us all your cool, fun, fresh ideas. And obviously don't look at the small experiences, even if it's something as small as like helping your mom wash the dishes or something. Just tell us anything you worked on. Tell us how you were able to contribute something valuable, how you were able to make a difference, and tell us how you learned from the experience. It doesn't have to be big, like a big leadership activity or like a club you're running. Just tell us anything in which you're able to apply the things you learned to the position you're applying for. Okay, now I will pass it on to Jenny.
Great, so now that you have an idea of who we are and what we do, here are some action items that we really encourage you to consider. So please note that there are several hyperlinks in the slide, and I won't be taking you through each one, but the slideshow will be posted after our information session for easier access to the links, so feel free to check them out then. And Amy and Catherine will also be sending the links in the chat. So first, we recommend for you to create an account on our volunteer portal and browse our opportunities there. We do have a video tutorial on how to navigate the portal if you're ever confused, but don't ever hesitate to send us a quick email or DM if you have any questions. If you are interested in joining our team, we have a list of available positions and their descriptions, so feel free to check that out before applying as well. And lastly, please remember to apply to join our team for next year. Applications are due on April 30th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern, and we're really looking forward to reading your applications and getting to know you better.
All right, awesome. So that's the end of our info session. If anyone has any questions, that would be a perfect time. So you can either ask them verbally or send them in the chat. If you have any questions about like any of the initiatives we mentioned, if you want more details on our executive applications, anything that you need us to clarify.
And if you ever think of any questions later on, feel free to send us an email. I think Mira has a question.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I was wondering, because I saw all the list of like executive positions and everything. Is there like, because I kind of thought of it like a student council. Like I know this is like completely different, but would we have like weekly meetings where like the presidents would bring ideas and everyone would talk about them, figure out how to do them? Is that kind of how it would work, or would it be more of like a just online send out emails type thing?
So I think when we were busier, we definitely did have weekly meetings. We're not really trying to be very structured. Like Graceland mentioned, we're very flexible, very open. it's more by necessity. Like if we feel like there's something to talk about, if there's something we need to get the team's opinion on, we're gonna be like calling a meeting. And for your earlier question, it's more that like the executive directors and the president is kind of just overseeing everything. So they're checking in and they're keeping up to date on all the initiatives we have, whether it's in the cohort or the subsection. And if there's anything that we kind of want everyone's opinion on, like they kind of make a list to talk about during the meeting, if that makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
I think you also asked.
Yeah.
Sorry, someone.
Sorry, Jen.
Okay, I think you also asked if it was the president that was bringing up ideas. The whole team is bringing ideas to the table. We're all contributing pretty much equally. Of course, the cohort directors would focus on their cohorts more. The subsection directors would focus on their region. But overall, everyone on the team is still contributing and coming up with ideas all together, if that answers that part of your question.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like Grace mentioned, we want you to have the freedom to be able to do the things that you want to do and work on the things that you care about. So like the president might be maybe like guiding you a little bit at the beginning, helping you find areas that might need support, that might need volunteers to help out a little bit. But in terms of coming up with ideas, that's completely up to you. It's like you have freedom over your project. If you think of anything, just DM us on Instagram or send us an email, and we're going to be sending the PowerPoint out to all the volunteer emails so you can have all the links. All right, sounds great. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming, and we look forward to reading your applications or seeing the impact you're going to make. Bye.
Guys.